You think winning an argument makes you powerful? No. The moment another person can pull you into anger, force you to defend yourself, or make you lose your center, they are already controlling you. Listen carefully. A disciplined mind does not react to every challenge. It watches. It understands. Then it chooses. Someone may insult you, misunderstand you, provoke you, or desperately try to drag you into their chaos. Your first instinct will be to strike back with words. But there is another response, one that protects something far more valuable than your pride. Because the strongest person in the room is not always the one who speaks the loudest. Sometimes it is the one who knows exactly when not to fight. And once you understand what an argument can secretly take from you, you will never look at conflict the same way again. So before you answer the next person who tries to disturb your peace, learn this first. The person who controls your reaction controls the moment. When someone insults you, challenges you, or deliberately tries to make you angry, the first fight does not happen between you and that person. It happens inside you. In one moment, your pride tells you to answer, your anger tells you to strike back, your mind begins searching for words that will hurt them as much as their words hurt you. But this is exactly where you must become aware. If another person can decide when you become angry, then for that moment they are controlling you. Think about it. They say a few words, and suddenly your breathing changes, your body becomes tense, your attention leaves everything important and becomes trapped inside the conflict. Maybe the other person forgets the argument 10 minutes later, but you continue carrying it for the rest of the day. Who really lost power in that situation? Strength is not reacting faster. Strength is being able to stop yourself before emotion chooses your next move. When someone provokes you, create a small space between their action and your response. Observe what is happening. Ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? Will my response improve anything? Am I speaking because it is necessary, or because my ego wants revenge? That pause may last only a few seconds, but those seconds can protect you from hours of regret. Understand this. Staying calm does not mean you are weak. It does not mean allowing people to disrespect you. You can defend yourself. You can speak firmly. You can set a boundary and walk away. But do it because you chose the response, not because another person's behavior forced it out of you. A trained fighter does not throw every strike available to him. He waits, observes, and acts only when action has purpose. Train your mind the same way. People will test you, some intentionally, others without realizing it. Do not give everyone access to your emotions. Your reaction belongs to you. Protect it. Because the moment you learn to control your reaction, you stop becoming easy to provoke, and you begin controlling the moment instead. Stop fighting for the last word. The need to have the last word is one of the easiest ways to lose control while believing you are still in control. Someone disagrees with you, and you explain yourself. They answer back, so you respond again. Then they challenge another point, and now you feel you cannot leave because walking away feels like defeat. Before you realize it, you are no longer speaking to create understanding. You are fighting to make sure your voice is the final voice heard. This is the ego turning conversation into combat. You must learn to recognize that moment. When two people are only trying to defeat each other with words, the truth becomes less important than victory. You begin saying more than necessary. Your voice becomes harder. Your judgment becomes weaker. You may even say something damaging simply because you want to land one final blow. Do not confuse this with strength. In martial arts, you do not continue attacking when there is no purpose. Every movement should have meaning. Your words should follow the same discipline. Say what needs to be said. Say it clearly. If you are wrong, have enough strength to admit it. If you are right, do not become desperate to force another person to recognize it. Their agreement is not required for you to remain certain of yourself. Sometimes another person will deliberately keep the argument alive because they know you cannot resist answering. Every response gives them another opportunity to pull you deeper into frustration. Break that pattern. Let them have the final sentence if necessary. You keep something more valuable, your composure. Walking away does not automatically mean you are lost. Silence does not automatically mean the other person won. There are conversations where continuing is useful, and there are conversations where continuing only feeds pride. Know the difference. The disciplined mind does not ask, how can I make sure I win this argument? It asks, is there still anything worth accomplishing here? When the answer is no, stop. You do not need the last word to prove your strength. Sometimes your greatest victory is knowing exactly when the conversation is finished and having enough control to leave it there. Learn the difference between a discussion and a trap. Not everyone who questions you wants to understand you. Some people come to a conversation looking for the truth. Others come looking for a reaction. If you cannot tell the difference, you will waste your strength fighting battles that were designed to exhaust you. A real discussion has movement. You speak, the other person listens. They speak, and you consider their words. Even when you disagree, there is still respect. Both sides are trying to reach something clearer than where they started. That conversation may be difficult, but it has a purpose. A trap is different. You explain one point, and the person ignores it. You answer a question, and they immediately change the subject. You clarify what you meant, and they twist your words into something you never said. The more carefully you explain yourself, the more opportunities they find to continue the conflict. Pay attention to this pattern. Do not believe that every misunderstanding can be solved by giving a longer explanation. Sometimes the problem is not that the other person cannot understand you. The problem is that understanding you would end the argument, and they do not want the argument to end. That is when intelligence must replace emotion. A fighter does not blindly chase an opponent wherever the opponent wants him to go. He watches the movement. He recognizes the setup. He knows when he is being pulled out of position. You must develop the same awareness in conversation. Notice whether the person answers your actual point. Notice whether they allow you to finish speaking. Notice whether the goal is understanding or simply making you angry. Once you recognize a trap, stop trying to win inside it. You can say what is necessary once. You can correct a false statement. You can make your position clear. But after that, you are not required to remain inside an endless circle. Leave without hatred. Leave without needing revenge. Leave because you understand where your energy belongs. Wisdom is not having an answer for every person. Wisdom is recognizing which conversations deserve an answer at all. Silence is powerful only when it is chosen. Listen to me. Silence by itself is not strength. If you remain quiet because you are frightened, confused, or afraid to defend yourself, that silence controls you. But when you know you can speak, you know you can respond, and you deliberately choose not to waste your words, silence becomes discipline. There is a great difference. When someone attacks you with words, your instinct may tell you to answer immediately. But ask yourself, what will my answer accomplish? If speaking can solve the problem, speak clearly. If something important must be corrected, correct it. But if the other person only wants your anger, why give it to them? Do not mistake noise for power. A person may raise their voice, speak aggressively, and throw one accusation after another. You do not have to match their energy. Stay still inside yourself. Watch carefully. When you stop reacting, you begin seeing things that anger would have hidden from you. This is similar to fighting. If you attack without observing, you expose yourself. But when you remain composed, you can study movement, timing, intention, and weakness. Conversation is no different. Silence can give you the space to understand what is really happening before you decide what deserves a response. And something interesting happens when you stop feeding unnecessary conflict. People often reveal themselves. A person who expects you to become angry may become impatient. Someone trying to manipulate you may expose their real intention because their first attempt failed. But remember, I am not telling you to become passive. If a boundary must be established, establish it. If someone crosses a serious line, address it directly. Strength does not hide from necessary confrontation. The lesson is simpler. Never speak merely because another person has successfully provoked you into speaking. Choose your words as carefully as a fighter chooses his movements. Sometimes I speak, sometimes I walk away, sometimes say nothing at all. But whatever you choose, let the decision come from awareness rather than fear, pride, or anger. When your silence is a conscious choice, it is no longer emptiness, it is controlled. Protect your energy from people who feed on conflict. Your energy is not unlimited, so stop spending it as though it has no value. You will meet people who seem to carry conflict wherever they go. A peaceful conversation becomes an argument. A small disagreement becomes a personal attack. You explain yourself calmly, but instead of moving toward understanding, they search for another reason to continue fighting. If you are not aware of what is happening, you can spend an entire day trapped inside a battle that never needed to exist. Understand something important. You cannot create peace with someone who is determined to create conflict. Some people feel powerful when they get a reaction from you. They provoke, criticize, interrupt, or push the same sensitive point, because they are watching for the moment when you finally lose control. Once you become angry, they have what they want, your attention. Do not give your attention away so cheaply. Your mind is like your body. If you constantly exhaust it on meaningless struggles, you will have less strength when something important demands your focus. Every hour spent replaying an argument is an hour you could have used to train, work, learn, create, recover, or move your life forward. This is why you must learn boundaries. A boundary does not mean you hate someone. It means you understand what you will allow into your mental space. You can tell someone, "I will speak with you," when we can speak with respect. You can end a conversation that has become destructive. You can create distance from a person who repeatedly brings unnecessary chaos into your life. Do not feel guilty for protecting your peace, but be careful. Protecting your energy does not mean running away from every uncomfortable conversation. Growth sometimes requires disagreement. Honest people may challenge you because they want you to see something you have missed. Learn to recognize the difference between someone who challenges your thinking and someone who simply drains your spirit. One helps you become sharper, the other keeps you emotionally exhausted. A skilled fighter understands distance. He does not allow an opponent to control the space around him. You must understand emotional distance in the same way. Not everyone deserves equal access to your attention, your thoughts, and your time. Sometimes the strongest decision is not to defeat a difficult person. It is to stop giving them a battlefield. Let them argue without you. Let them misunderstand you if they choose. Let them search for conflict somewhere else. You have more important work to do. Train your mind, build your character, strengthen your body, move toward your purpose. Save your energy for the people, responsibilities, and battles that actually matter. Remember this. Wherever your attention goes, part of your life goes with it. So choose carefully. Protect your energy, not because you are afraid of conflict, but because you finally understand the value of your power. Never make decisions while your pride is injured. The worst time to make an important decision is when your pride has just been wounded. Someone rejects you. Someone embarrasses you. A person you trusted speaks to you with disrespect. Suddenly, something inside you wants immediate action. You want to send a message, end a friendship, prove them wrong, expose what they did, or make them feel the pain they caused you. Do not move yet. When pride is injured, the mind becomes impatient. It wants relief more than wisdom. It begins searching for an action that will make you feel powerful again. But the action that feels powerful for 5 minutes can create consequences that remain for years. You must learn to recognize this condition in yourself. Anger makes everything look urgent. Pride tells you, do something now or you will look weak. But strength is not measured by how quickly you retaliate. Strength is your ability to remain still long enough to see the entire situation. Think like a fighter. If an opponent surprises you with a strike and you immediately attack without seeing his position, you may walk directly into the next attack. Emotion works the same way. When your pride is hurt, your vision becomes narrow. You see the insult, but not the consequences. You see the satisfaction of responding, but not what your response may destroy. So create distance. Do not send a message while your hands are shaking with anger. Do not make a permanent decision because of a temporary emotional wound. Give your mind time to return to balance. Then ask yourself better questions. What actually happened? Was this deliberate disrespect, or am I reacting to how it made me feel? Does this situation require confrontation, distance, forgiveness, or simply a calm conversation? What decision will I respect when the emotion is gone? These questions return control to you. Understand, I am not telling you to tolerate disrespect. There are moments when you must leave. There are relationships that should end. There are boundaries that must become stronger. But make those decisions with clear eyes. A decision made from clarity has direction. A decision made from wounded pride usually seeks revenge. Know the difference. Sometimes the strongest response is waiting until tomorrow. After the heat disappears, you may discover that the situation was smaller than your anger made it appear. Or you may realize the problem is serious, but now you can deal with it intelligently instead of emotionally. Never allow another person's behavior to rush you into becoming someone you do not respect. They may control what they say to you. They may control how they behave, but they should never control the quality of your decisions. Your pride may shout, "Answer now." Your discipline must be stronger. Wait, observe, let the emotions settle, then decide from strength. Because a calm decision protects your future, while an impulsive reaction often sacrifices tomorrow just to satisfy today. True power is leaving with your center intact. Your strength is not whether you can defeat another person in an argument. It is whether you can leave the situation without allowing it to defeat something inside you. You will meet people who misunderstand you. Some will judge you before knowing you. Others may disrespect you, question your intentions, or speak about you unfairly. If your inner peace depends on everyone treating you correctly, then your peace will always belong to other people. That is a dangerous way to live. You cannot control every opinion about you. You cannot force someone to see your character clearly. You cannot enter another person's mind and rearrange their judgment. But you can control what you carry away from the encounter. This is what I mean by keeping your center. Your center is the place inside you where judgment remains clear even when emotions are moving. It is where you remember who you are without needing another person to confirm it. When you lose that center, you begin chasing approval, defending yourself against every accusation, and allowing other people's behavior to determine your state of mind. Do not live that way. Think of a fighter standing balanced. If his balance is broken, even great strength becomes difficult to use. The same principle applies to your mind. When anger pulls you too far forward, or fear pushes you backward, you lose the position from which intelligent action becomes possible. So remain centered. If someone insults you, decide whether an answer is necessary. If someone misunderstands you, explain yourself when understanding matters. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, create distance. But after you have done what is necessary, release the situation. Do not continue fighting it inside your head. Many people leave an argument physically, but carry it mentally for hours. They replay every sentence. They imagine better responses. They continue arguing with someone who is no longer even in the room. The conversation has ended, yet the other person is still controlling their attention. That is not freedom. When you walk away, learn to truly walk away. Take the lesson with you, but leave the poison behind. Maybe the experience showed you where you need a stronger boundary. Maybe it revealed something about the other person's character. Perhaps it exposed an insecurity inside you that still needs work. Use what the experience teaches you, then continue forward. This is how conflict becomes training instead of damage. Remember, you do not need to dominate every room. You do not need everyone to agree with you. You do not need to destroy another person's argument to know where you stand. Real power is quieter than that. It is being able to face disrespect without becoming disrespectful, to experience anger without becoming its servant, to hear criticism without immediately losing confidence, to leave conflict without carrying hatred into the next part of your life. That is mastery. So when the next difficult moment comes, do not ask only, "Did I win?" Ask something deeper. Did I remain myself? If you can leave with your judgment clear, your dignity intact, and your mind still under your command, then you have protected something far more valuable than victory. You have protected your center, and when your center belongs to you, your power belongs to you. Listen carefully. A man who can control your anger can control your next move. You do not need to answer every insult. You do not need to defeat every opinion. Sometimes the strongest move is to remain still, observe, and refuse to enter another person's chaos. When you argue from ego, you waste energy. When you stay centered, you keep your power. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, do not ask, "How do I defeat them?" Ask, "Can they make me lose control?" If the answer is no, then the battle is already finished. Stay calm. Stay aware. Protect your power. Because the person who masters himself does not need to conquer every room he enters.